This is Grand Second. By now you probably know that Rick Astleys is my favorite singer. And if you haven't listened to Rick's music, please go do so. And before we begin, I probably should mention that I love all these albums. So none of them are going to get a bad rating. Also, last time I did this album, I included Rick's compilation album for 2019 called The Best of Me. And there are songs by Rick that he piano-fies. It's the best way I can describe it. Here's an example.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
And so I thought with those on the album, it kind of more than just a compilation album. But apparently, it doesn't, so I will not be ranking it on this video. But still, go listen to it, because it's great. And I will not be including Rick's unreleased album from 2013, titled My Red Book, because, well, it wasn't released. Although I do recommend you go listen to it, because there are ways of finding it. But with all that said, let's begin with the ranking.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Coming at last place in number 9, we have Portrait. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I love all his albums. This was no exception. But what this album is a bunch of songs covered by Rick. And don't get me wrong, these are great covers. I actually like a few of them more than the originals. But I think Rick shines the most when he's doing his own original songs.
You know I got to try, even though my heart is on the line, even if I'm broken on the inside, there's nothing I won't do to make it right. You know I got to try.
Coming number 8, we have Beautiful Life. This was Rick's second album after his big comeback in 2016. And it took a long time for this album to grow on me. And I think why is because, well, most of these songs are on the edge of sounding like modern music. Which I know is a redundant statement, but still, I just don't love how modern music sounds, at least most of it. But eventually, it has grown on me. These songs are great, and I just love this album. It took me a while to come around to it, but once I did. But I do think because it sounds almost like modern music is why it's so low on the list.
Keep singing, whoa, keep singing, praise into the heavens with your voices ringing. Keep singing, whoa, keep singing, clap to the beat till your hands are stinging, and you'll be saved some sunny day from throwing your life away.
Number 7, we have 50. Rick's comeback album for 2016. These songs are just amazing. This album is incredible. And I can see why it's Rick's only other second number 1 album. It was almost the case with Rick's new album, Are We There Yet?, coming at number 2 on the charts, which we'll get to that in a bit.
Someday you may find me by the Mississippi River, dipping my feet in the cool, cool water. Someday you may find me by the banks of the river, dipping my feet in the cool, cool water.
Number 6, we have Are We There Yet? Rick's newest album, my personal favorite out of Rick's new batch of newer albums. First of all, experiencing like the hype and the build up to a new Rick Astley album was just an experience. Something that I will never forget. And all these songs are just amazing. And as someone who has listened to this album in a car, I can confirm this is the perfect road trip album, and Are We There Yet? Is the perfect name for it.
Now I'm not sleeping, now that you're gone. I can't help feeling I did you wrong. And I ain't leaving, it's been so long.
Number 5, we have Keep It Turned On. First of all, Rick, what happened to this album? pretty much everywhere where you could listen to it before, you can't now. For example, YouTube and Spotify, not there anymore. It's kind of strange. So now I'm having to just go on YouTube and look up re-uploads of this album because I gotta have it. But with that being said, this was Rick's return to music in 2001. So it has a 2000s vibe to it. And I gotta say, the 2000s is probably one of the decades where I listen to the least music from. And I think that's why I like this album so much. These songs are unique, and I haven't really heard a lot of music like this. And all the songs just really chill. It's the perfect chill out album.
They're gonna be the ones you love. The children ought to get some love. If no one else should ever get enough, they're gonna be the ones.
Number 4, we have Body and Soul. Now this album came out in 1993, when Rick had switched from pop music to soul music. This was Rick's second soul album, his 4th album, and it would be his last album before he retired to focus on his family until he returned back in 2001 with Keep It Turned On. And like Beautiful Life, this album did take a bit to grow on me. The album that was released before this one, which was titled Free, had a jazzy soul vibe to it. This album has a soul-y soul vibe to it. And just FYI, soul is my favorite genre of music. So one day I just kind of decided to listen to this album again, and it ridiculously grew on me. And if you saw my last Rick Astleys album ranking, you'd know this came at number 8. So this album majorly grew on me, and that's one of my favorite albums from Rick. This type of music definitely isn't for everyone, but hey, I just recommend you give a listen to it.
Together forever and never to part. Together forever we two. And don't you know I would move heaven and earth to be together forever with you.
So number 3, we have Whenever You Need Somebody. Rick's first album released 1 year after Never Gonna Give You Up. And this album was just really solid and great. I love all the songs. In fact, Together Forever is my favorite Rick Astley song. And also just favorite song, period. But I don't think Rick had quite found his footing yet. This album was just really great. I can't really complain about it. It's just that I like the 2 albums above it a little bit more.
Take me to your heart, never let me go. If you knew what I'm feeling, you would not say no. Take me to your heart, never let me go. For your love is all I need to know.
Number 2, we have Hold Me in Your Arms. Rick's second album. Remember how I mentioned I don't think Rick had his footing with Whenever You Need Somebody? I think this is when Rick had his footing. Some of these songs are my favorite songs in general, not just by Rick, but just out of all the music I listen to. It's incredible. I don't have a lot to say about it because, well, you need to go listen to it. It's like the 80s if it was perfect. If you want to have some pure 80s Rick Astley, this album is the album to go with.
All that I need is to cry for help. I will be there when you cry for help. Is it hard to cry?
So number 1, we have Free. This was Rick's 3rd album, Rick's first soul album, and Rick's first album in the 90s. And man, are the songs in this album incredible. It's a jazzy soul album, and if you had to listen to any of the albums from this video, listen to this one. By the way, they're all linked in the description, so please go listen to them. This album was without a doubt my favorite album ever. This album made me realize that soul is my favorite genre of music. So I can pretty much say this album has changed my life. That's a fact. That was all 9 of Rick Astley's albums ranked. So I hope you enjoyed this video, but more importantly, I hope you got more respect for Rick Astley. And I hope you'll give these albums a listen. Bye guys for now. Bye-bye, it's Garrett Thacker.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie.